Sorry that I could not take the Monday's class because of some academic activities. We actually had a conference regarding how to conduct the online classes for the campus institutions. So I was busy in that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Whatever the time period we missed, we will cover it later in the coming sessions. So as right now, it doesn't matter. Um, so in this class, we will start the what do you call start from the first unit, that is the creating the HTML, or look at how to handle the user interface by creating HTML pages. Let us wait for a few more minutes so that others may also join. Actually, I posted the link late today, just now, just a 5 minutes before I posted. So let the others also join the class. Okay, so let us begin the session. Anyway, the others, if they join late, doesn't matter. They will, can view the recording. I'll post it on the classroom page. So I'll just present my entire screen. So is my entire screen visible? Okay. Now we will just not talk about only the theory part. We will practically, do the what do you call practically look at how to write the HTML, as well as how to get that presentable part of whatever tags we have written. The very first thing, I'm not starting the class from the definitions of what you call what is web browser, what are client, what are URL, and so on. So things we will look at as we move further with this session. We will these classes we will look into all those topics. The very first thing is, till now you have written programs and you compiled those programs and you executed those programs. Now, when, for example, you had your C program, you have written a C program in the notepad, a text, or on in an editor. The same way, even your Java program or C++ program, you might have written in the editor itself. So even here, the HTML, we will write in the editor. So we can use a notepad or any text editor we can use. So let me just create a text editor here, an empty file, and let me just call this file as, not over here, I'll just open this file, and then I'll save this file, going to the save menu and save as, let us save this file as, let's say, index.html. You can have the extension as HTM or HTML. So, I mean, since it's HTML, so save the type as, I'll select all files, not txt. Let me first save this file. So now, this file is saved here. You can find that. I mean, I've just highlighted this file. This is actually by default, since the default web browser in this one is Edge, so it's showing the Edge icon over here, but we can open it in any web browser. So I'm just going to right click this file and open with, I'm going to select Chrome. Now you can see that there is a blank page displayed. We have not written any code, or we have not written any tags within this file. So the very first thing is you will save these files with HTML or HTM as the extension for our what we say for the files, the HTML files. Now one more thing before we proceed further. When we opened this file, it opened in an web browser, and you can, I've just highlighted the in the address bar. You can see that the whole full apps, I mean the full Okay, I think by mistake somebody's microphone was on, so it doesn't matter. Let us continue. So I was here at this point. You can see in the address bar that the full path, the physical path of the file has been displayed. That is c:/user/student/desktop and index.html. Now this part, the address bar, and even here you may not find there is a status bar also that comes up. So these things are actually not a viewable window. Whatever white area you find, start below the address bar till the end of the browser is the viewable window. So whatever HTML tags we write, whatever HTML the presentation styles we write for that will be viewable only in the window which is there for the viewing. So now why I'm telling you this, because HTML has two parts. HTML has two parts. One is for the headers, which is not viewable or presentable to the user, and the other part is presentable to the user. So very first thing, you will use Notepad to write your HTML files, as you have used for C, C++, and what do you call Java. That is, you can use any text editor to write the HTML document. The other thing is, you had C file or C++ file or Java source code or Java code. You have compiled all these programs. But for HTML, you will not compile. It doesn't need any compiler. The HTML doesn't need any compiler. It's not a programming language. It's an interpreted language. So then who executes this when it is not compiled? So how can it be executed? The HTML. How can HTML be executed? HTML is only presentable part. It's only a presentable thing. It doesn't involve any logical computations. For example, printing n number of, so you use for loop in C, C++, Java. So these kind of things are not there in HTML. So there is no programming logic involved. Web browsers understand HTML and then displays according to the tags used in HTML. Now we have been talking about tags here. Tags is nothing but tags are something which tells the web browser to display the text in certain format, to present the text in certain format. That is what are tags. And every tag will have its opening tag as well as its closing tag, corresponding closing tag. So every HTML will have first have is the text visible, or should I increase the font size? Just anyone can reply me in chat. Is the text on the what do you call on the notepad visible, or should I increase the font size? Okay, increase the font size. Okay, no problem. Definitely. Let me first save this part and then let us make something as 36. Is it visible now? Okay, fine. So we will continue. So now, every HTML, the root of HTML document will be HTML tag itself, and it will have its closing tag. Now, every tag will start with the opening angle brackets and closing angle brackets. Within the angle brackets is the tag name, what we call. So HTML is a name of this tag. Then, if I said every HTML tag will have its corresponding closing tag. So this is the closing tag for the HTML. That is, closing tag also will start with the angle brackets and close with the angle brackets itself. But closing tag will have slash as the character succeeding the opening angle brackets. And the tag name will be same. That is, opening tag we had HTML. Here also we will have, the closing tag also we will have the same name, that is HTML. Okay, let us come back. So within this HTML tag, opening and closing, your entire HTML document will be written. Now, as I said, there are two parts of HTML document, or HTML page, or a web page. The first part is within the head section. So I'll have the opening head tag as well as closing head tag. Now let me just try to nest these tags. So we will have an opening head tag and closing head tag. So this is one part of the HTML document. The other part of the HTML document is the body. So we are going to have opening body tag and closing body tag. Now these two parts, that is head part and body part, forms your complete HTML document. Whatever is written within head tags, it's not displayable to the user. I mean, not presentable. It is displayed to some tags displays to the user, but it's not presentable to the user. But whatever you write in body, that you can present to the user, I mean, depending upon its style. So let me first write something in the body part, body tag, within the body section. So let's say this is sample. Let me save this file. Let me save this file, and we'll go back to the HTML. I'll just refresh this. So I'll just increase the font of this web browser as well. So here you can find that this is sample has been displayed. That is what we had written in the body part. Now same things I'll remove from body part, body section. I'll remove from here and I'll try to put it in head within the head tag. Let me save this file and then execute it. Let me close this and then open it once more. Oh, okay. Just a minute. I was little got confused. Now let me place this as sample in the title tag. There is a title tag. So let me within the head section we will have the title tag. Okay. So within the title tag, I'm placing the same text, that is, this is sample. Obviously, title is going to have opening as well as the closing tag. Let me save this and refresh this part. Now, the text has disappeared, but the text is obviously I can't increase this part, but you can see that on the tab of your web browser, you can find that the title has been displayed. So what I mean to say here is that the head section you can use for, it's like a metadata for the web page. So you can define title there. You can define different, what do you call, meta characteristics of the web page. You can have keywords here. Basically, this is used for SEO kind of, or search engine optimization techniques. So head section is not for displaying. It gives you the meta characteristics of the web page. But body section, within the body, whatever you have, will display, or you can present to the user using different styles. So now in this title, what I'm going to do is, I'll just remove this as sample. Instead of that, let me say first page. Let me say first page, and within the body tag, this title I'll just have it, and then within the body tag, I will have the same text, that is, this is sample. That this is sample text. Let's say. Let us save this one and refresh it. You can find that first page is the text over here. You may have status bar also, which through which, I mean, from the head section you can manipulate that. And whatever is displayed over here, it's nothing but the presentable part, which is done through the body section of the HTML page. Now there are various tags. The first category of tags, various categories of tags, which are used for several purposes. So the very first category we will try to see is tags for text content. So here we will, I'll just write here itself, tags for text content. Tags for text content. In this tag, tags for text content, what very first thing is, we have a tag known as p tag. So that is for para, or paragraph tag, which is called as p tag, which is for paragraph tag. Then we have something known as pre tag, which is used for pre format, pre tag. Then we will look at the though it's BR tag, which is used for break line, like a new line character, what you have in C and C++. Then we have different other tags like B tag for bold, as well as we have a tag called I tag for italics, that is text to be in italics. And we will have the what do you call the HR tag, which I mean obviously it's not for text. You cannot think, but we can separate the text using a horizontal line there. And then we have something as header tags. I'll just say h of x. Now here x is nothing but from x1 to x6. So we will have h1, h2, h3, same way till h6. So these tags are forms the part of the tags for text content. So let us now look at these tags one by one. So I'll say this is sample text. Let me say one. I'll also say have the say another what do you call line as sample text two, and then this is sample text. Let me say three. Let me save this file and let us look at what will be the output. Now, you once we open this file in the browser, you can find that this is sample text 1, text 2, text 3, though they are on different lines. But when we view it in a web browser, they are displayed in a single line. They are displayed in the single line. And it's not that. For example, let me just reduce the size of this page. You can now, even now, if I just reduce the width of this page, you can see the text is getting, now it is on three different lines. But on the original one, it's not. So what this means is that even though your text is in different lines in the body section, web browser ignores new line characters as well as white spaces. Now, though we have not seen for white spaces, but let us look at white spaces. For example, between sample and text one, what I'll do is I'll just have some white spaces. All these are white spaces. Let me save this file and then view it in a web browser. You can see that we had spaces between sample and text one, two words. Now, but there is no space. There is only a single space between sample and text one. So what web browser does is, even though we may have a new line, or even though we may have several white spaces, but the web browser ignores new line characters as well as ignores multiple white spaces. It will not ignore a white space. Remember that. A single white space is not ignored. It is there. For example, this is between this and is, there is a white space. So it's not ignoring single white space. It ignores new line characters and multiple white spaces. So, I mean, always remember, even though you may have here text on different lines, but web browser, since ignores since it ignores new line characters, so the whole text will be displayed on a single line. Then how do you format this onto different lines? Let me just remove these white spaces. We can use para tag. For example, let's say this first one is a paragraph. This is sample text. One is one paragraph. So I'll open this para over here, as well as I'll close this paragraph over here. Theta. So this is one para. Then let us say this is another paragraph. This is sample text is another paragraph, as well as the third line is also another paragraph. So I'm using P tag for paragraphs. Let me just save this file and then execute it, you can find that all of them, each line, sentence is treated as a paragraph. So that is why you can find a large amount of space between this is sample text 1 and this is sample text 2. So there is a large amount of white space between that. So all these three sentences are treated as paragraphs now. That is why they are on a different lines. Now, but suppose if I remove this p tag, I'll remove this p tag also, even this closing p tag also, as well as this p tag also. So I have a para tag starting, I mean, just before the this, and we have three sentences. And after these three sentences, I am closing the para tag. So what may happen now? What may happen now? Anyone? What will be the output? I have these three sentences in a single paragraph. Will each line, each sentence be displayed on a different line, or will it be displayed on the same line as we have seen earlier without any tags? Anyone just answer. Same line, yeah. It's treated as a single paragraph and it's in this same line. So just let us quickly look at this output. So you can find that. So now there is no difference between without using any tags and using a para tag. It's, I mean, visually there is no difference, but how the browser is interpreting is that earlier without having any tags, all the three sentences, it is not treating them as a paragraph. It is treating them as a single, I mean, the line sentences on one line itself. But here, all the three lines, though they are displayed, all the three sentences, though they are displayed on the same line, but this is treated as three sentences on a single paragraph. So we have to be, careful about how to, what do you call, how we use these. Though we have the tags there for different purposes, but we also need to consider how we use these tags. So that is one important thing. Now, let me just remove this para tag, and then at the end, also, I mean, remove the closing tag. We will now see the BR tag that is known as break tag. BR tag. So I'm using break at the end of the line. This is just like your print F statement, print F slash n, what we do in C and C in C language. Now in C out, in what do you call, what we have, C++, we have C out there, and we use something like end L. Same way in your Java, we use system.out.println, and just open, close it, will have a new line printed. The same way, even the BR tag will work. So I'm going to have BR tag at the end of each sentence, not at the beginning. I'm having at the end of each sentence. So let me just save this file and execute. Now, all three lines or all three sentences are displayed on different lines. But do you observe the difference when we used para tag for each line and the break tag? What is the difference? We used para tag for each line. We have used break tag also. Even in para tag, if I had P over here and closing para tag over here, and opening para tag here, closing para tag here, then also three sentences were displayed on different lines. Even here, three sentences are getting displayed on different lines. But what is the difference between these two? There are two things. There's one is the theoretical difference. The other one is visual difference. There are two things here. So can anybody just what do we? Does anybody have any idea? There are spaces between sentences. Yes, that's correct. That is when we used para tag. When we used that is when each sentence was made as a paragraph. When we used opening and closing of para tags, then this is sample text 1 was treated as one paragraph, not as a line. Then So that is why between these two, we had large amount of space, white space. Between these two paragraphs, we had large amount of white space. But now, since these are not treated as paragraphs, they are treated as lines. So break, what break does is it just starts the display of the characters on the next line. It will not have any spaces between two lines. So that is what is the difference between the para and the break tag. And now, obviously, we have seen the visual as well as talked about the theoretical difference also. That is the theory. Where each sentence is, when we use P tag, each sentence is treated as a paragraph. When we use BR tag, each statement just, I mean, the next text starts from the next line. That's all. Now, observe another important point here. We used HTML tag, we had closing of HTML. We used head tag, we had closing of head tag. We have used title tag, we had closing of title tag. That is slash title. Even for body, it is the same thing. When, if you observe para tag, we had P and closing of P. But what about BR tag? We are using closing? We are not using closing tag. We are not using corresponding closing. That is, we have not made this way. We have not used this as a BR tag. Then over here, we did not close with BR tag. You're getting this? So we are not doing this way. Then what happened here? Why this is not getting closed? Or if we use slash BR, what happens? Now remember, in your syllabus, you have one thing known as HTML5. I mean, one word we find in the first unit as HTML5. The other is XHTML. Now, in HTML, actually HTML is very, what do you call, it's very simple and the most confusing also. Why? Because what happens sometimes is when you don't close, it's not it doesn't give you any errors because you're not compiling that language or you're not interpreting that language. The browser understands the tags and displays it. If some tag is not uh, I mean, it's not defined in HTML, even then you will not get any errors. That is the simplicity of HTML. So here, where were we? Okay, here, over here, sorry. So here, if BR tag is there, BR tag doesn't have its corresponding closing tag. It's a single tag. And HTML will not give you any error. HTML5 also will not give you any error. But XHTML will give us an error because XHTML is well formed. That means every opening tag should have its corresponding closing tag. Now, then what about this BR tag? Other tags we are putting. I mean, if I forget closing of the head tag here, XHTML will give me an error, but not HTML. Doesn't matter. But this is the head tag which had its corresponding closing tag. So I just forgot that, so it's giving me error. But what? Oh, sorry. What about the BR tag? BR tag doesn't have its corresponding closing tag. The tags which do not have its corresponding closing tags, we close that tag within the tag itself. That is, angle bracket, we open it. We will have the tag name. That is, in this case, it's BR. Then we will give space and slash. And then close the angle bracket. So XHTML will now interpret this as opening as well as the closing of the break tag or BR tag, break tag. The same way we will do it here, as well as we will open and close it here. Now we will just try to save this file and execute it, and you will have the same result. The only thing is this file, every tag is well formed, so this becomes an XHTML document, not as an HTML, but it's an HTML. Along with the HTML, it becomes an XHTML document. Now you may be wondering, we are opening in the web browser. This web browser has displayed. So how do we know it is HTML, HTML5, or XHTML? What is happening here? So you don't have to worry about these things. The XHTML, if you specifically provide the attribute here in the HTML, uh, specifically you have to provide the attribute to say that it is an XHTML document and so version has been used, or it's an HTML5 document and so version has been used. But as far as the browsers are concerned, or as far as executing, or as far as looking at the output of the HTML file or a web page is concerned, we do not have to bother about whether it is using HTML or HTML3, HTML4, HTML5, or XHTML. We don't have to bother about these things. Browser will automatically interpret and then tries to display the content how it is written using our tags. So we don't have to bother about that. But please remember, when you are opening up a tag, you have to close the tag. Even in same way, when the tag has a single meaning, single, when there is no closing tag for the tag, then there is no problem. Even then, you use space / angle bracket. You can use this way also. It doesn't matter, but it's much better you use the tag angle bracket, opening angle bracket, then the tag name space / and closing angle bracket. Every time you use this, because we are going to see the other tags also. Even there, we will try to use it in the same fashion. So this we have seen two things. We have seen para tag and we have seen the break tag. Now let us look at another tag. I'll just remove this BR tags. Let us use another tag known as pre-tag. Pre-tag stands for pre-formatted or pre-format. So I'm going to open pre-tag over here, and I will close pre-tag after ending the third sentence. So I'm going to close this pre-tag here. Let me save this file. Remember, pre is for pre-format. Let me execute this. Now, when I'm executing, you can find this as the result. Now, it is completely different from without using para tags, with using para tags, as well as with use of the BR or the break tag. So this output is completely different from those three things. Now, pre, as we talked about, it's for pre-format. What this means is the way the text is written within opening of the pre-tag and closing of the pre-tag. In the same way, pre-format, in the same format, the text will be displayed or the content will be displayed. So here, what is happening is there is no space between the edge of the browser and this, but there is a space here. There is a space in the second sentence. Now, if you observe, you started the pre-tag, so there was no space between pre and this. So that is why in the first line of first sentence, there is no space. Then on the second line, we had this much of space. So that is why here also we are having this much of space. As well as even in third line, we had this much of space. So even here we are having this much of space when we are using pre. So pre tag is used for pre-format. Not only that, not only the white space is what we are seeing from the edge. Pre-format, it preserves the new line characters as well as multiple white spaces, not only tabs, multiple white spaces. It will also preserve multiple white spaces. So suppose if I have this is sample, between is and sample, suppose if I have multiple white spaces. There's a lot of space now I have given between this is and sample. Now let us run. Sorry, not run. View it in a web browser. So you can find that how much space we had, the same space is being displayed on the web browser. So pre-format means that the content will be displayed exactly as it is between the pre-formatted tags. Even the text, you look at the text also, the font of the text also is different. It is not the default font of the web browser. It will be the default font of your any node editor. So remember this. Pre will actually remove all the formatting and it will display the content or it will display the text in the way it is exactly same as the way it is between the pre-text. So if I remove spaces here, even here if I remove spaces, so it is on a different line, I'm removing spaces here. Now when I save it and execute it, you will not find any spaces between the edge of the browser and this word. So this is how. Now, since for intending, I have made this way, and now if I save it, you can find that there will be spaces. So the content will be displayed exactly the same way it is there in the within the pre tag. So this was all about the pre tag. I'll just remove this pre tag and let us use another tag. Let me use HR tag. This HR also will not have any closing, so I'll just give space and have slash. HR is for horizontal rule. At all three places I'm using it. Let me not use it here at the end of the second line. Let me just save this file and let us view it. So what you can find here is this HR has displayed the first, after this is sample text 1, it has displayed a horizontal line. Then this is sample text has been displayed in the second line. So remember one thing, HR will automatically provide you with a new line. Are you getting it? That is why once we had HR, horizontal rule was displayed, the second line. So we are not using any any break tag over here, but even then HR by itself will provide a new line. So it is displaying on the second line, but this is sample text 3 is continue on the same line because we have not provided any BR at HR tag then. Then after that, again, HR, that is horizontal rule, is the second line, second horizontal line. Now, can I use BR tag over here? Can I use BR tag here? Yes, I can use. Remember one thing, in HTML, you can have, sorry. Yeah. In HTML actually, you have nested tags in HTML. You will find it in the other list and all other things also. The whole of HTML document itself is a nested tags. So within HR, after with this HR tag, it is opened, it has closed. I can use BR tag, no problem. I can use BR tag. I can also use para tag over here, doesn't matter. So we can have tags, nested tags, or we can have tags in conjunction with other tags. So we can use multiple tags together. Now let us see what happens when we are using BR tag over here. Save. Let me execute it. since we provided BR at the end of text 2, that is why the next line, that is, this is sample text 3, is displayed on the third line or the next line, and then the BR tag, the horizontal rule is displayed. So this is how we can use horizontal rules to separate the text, though I'm not having a large amount of text here, but you can imagine yourself that when we have a large amount of text, you can separate the text or format the text using the horizontal lines. We will move further with the tags for content. Uh, let us try to have, I'll just keep this HR and BR tags as it is. Then this sample, I want this sample to be, what do you call, to be in a bold characters. So I can use B tag over here, bold. B is for bold. So here you can see I'm using B for bold, and then I'll close bold, B tag over. In the same way, I want this, what do you call, let's say the second sample to be, to be in italics or emphasized. So I will use I. And then let me close this I over here. Let us save this. And then let us execute this. You can find sample is the first sample, that is first line sample, is bold. So B tag is for bold. You can use bold or you can also use strong. Both the tags has the same purpose. So it's probably both is used for same purpose. So I save this, and then you can find that the sample is in bold. So you can use either B or you can use strong tag. And here I is for italics. So this sample on the second line sample is in italics. So this is how we can also, we can also use bold tag and I tag to have the what we say, to format the text or to present the text in much formatted way. Now, can I use, can I have this sample over here? Can I have this sample? See, this sample, the first line sample we had in bold, second line sample we had in italics, third line sample, I want both italics as well as it should be bold. So how can we do that? Any idea? Anyone? Any idea? Hello? Anyone? Any idea? Are you people awake? How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just type something in chat. Anyone? How can we? Okay, very well, very well, very well. No, but the thing is, yeah, we are getting some things in chat. So we can use bold tag first, and then let us close this bold tag. And we also have to use I tag. So after bold, we will use I tag, and then close the I tag. Remember, the tag which opens first, the tag which not opens first, sorry, the tag which opens last will close first. So here we have opened B tag, then we opened I tag. So I tag will close first. Tag which opens last will close first. So I tag will close first, then B tag will close. Bold tag will close. So remember this thing. Though we will get back to, if we do it in opposite way, what happens, we'll get back to that later. So let us save this and let us execute. So you can find that you were absolutely right that we can use bold tag with the I tag so that it is in italics as well as it is in bold. Now let us come back and see. We have opened bold tags first, we have opened I tag, but we are closing I tag, then bold tag. Now let us see what happens is if we do the opposite way. We close the bold tag first, then I tag. Will we get any errors? We will not get any errors. That is the simplicity and confusing part in HTML. When we execute it, we are getting the same output. We will not get any errors. But but this is not the right way to do it. That is, we are opening B tag, then I tag, but we are closing B tag, then I tag. That is not the correct way. The tag which opens first, the tag which opens last will close first. Remember this, the simple thing. So even though you don't get any errors, but you have to, we opened I tag, so we have to close the I tag. Now suppose if we open another tag over here, so some tag, some X tag, assume some XYZ tag over here, then we have to first close XYZ tag, then the I tag, then the bold tag. So this is how it works. So always remember that it will not give you any error. So don't get confused that it's not getting any giving any error. So you are right. No, that's not the point. It doesn't give you any errors, but the right thing is the tag which opens last has to close first. And that's all. So this is the we can use different tags and then I mean we can combine we can use tags in combination to get the desired style in the for the content. Now instead of I tag, I can also use EM, which stands for emphasize. EM. Instead of I can also use EM. Let us save this and then open it. So you get the same result. So EM and I is same, as well as bold B and strong itself is same. So these were other two tags, that is bold tag and italics tag. Now we will move further. Uh, Here, let us look at some of the equations. For example, suppose if I have मेरी क्लास चल रही है मेरी क्लास चल रही है. Now suppose if we have an equation, for example, equation. Let me say x square plus not that way. Let us make this as yes, x square plus y cube. I want to have the equation this way. I'll just save this and then let us execute this. So you can find it is displayed exactly as we had written it. But what should have been the actual mathematical equation? We should have had x squared, that is x power y cube power y power 3, but it's displaying the same way. So for doing that, we have a superscript tag. So what we will do is we will use SUP, super for super, SUP for superscript. And should it close after 2? or after end of the equation, complete equation. It should close after end of 2. So here we are having x superscript, we are saying SUP superscript of 2 and closing the superscript tag. Let us save this and I will execute. So can you find the difference now? X has now 2 is superscript of x. So 2 is superscript. So it is appearing as 2 power, sorry, x power 2. The same way we can do it for y cube. So if you want to y cube, so we can have SUP over here, open the tag and then close SUP tag. So this becomes the y cube. So let us execute this one. You can find that it has become y cube. Now over here, suppose I forgot. I don't. I forgot to type in the closing tag of SUP, and let us keep the rest of the thing same. Save. Let us execute this. You can find. Can have. Do you observe what happened? I opened SUP tag. Then we had 2, so 2 becomes the superscript. Then plus y, and then again I am opening it. So this opening is not considered because I have already opened it. But closing is considered. So it is the web browser is considering that we are opening superscript before 2. So whatever from 2 will now be superscript until closing of superscript tag. So that is why here what is happening is x power 2 plus y cube has become superscript. The entire this entire thing is superscript of x. So here you have to, though there is no error getting displayed, but we have to be very careful. So this is what I was telling about. It's simple, but it is also confusing. So if we don't close the tag over here, it will be the complete equation will be in a different state itself. So I just have done it. Made it back. So this is how superscript is done. And the same way we also have subscript also. Like for example, x1 square. Sorry, let us say x1 plus y2. So instead of SUP, I will use SUP subscript. Instead of superscript, I'm using subscript. So let me save this and execute it. Now you can find that x2, like we write x2 minus x1 whole square that way. Now 2 will be in subscript. 3 is also in subscript. So this is how we can use superscript and subscript to have or to display equations. Now can I have x1, that is 1 in subscript, power 2? Can I have that way? Can we write it that way? If it is so, then how? Then how should I write it? X1. Okay, let us do simple way. I want to have the equation as x2 minus x1 whole square. How can we do? Just try, anyone try. Even if it is wrong, doesn't matter. We are not in a test or we are not having an exam here. Then let us just try, give it a try. I want x2 minus x1 whole square. What happened? Just type in the chat. Don't type the entire HTML document there. Like somebody typed bold and italics tag. That way, just type it. Okay. Okay, let us say equation equal to x2. So 2 will be in sub plane minus x1. Let's whole square. So whole square. I will have the brackets here. I will have the brackets here, and then I will have whole square. So it should be superscript. Super 2, and then I will close this brackets. Sorry, I'll close the super tag. So this is the way we will do it. Let's save this program, and then let us look at the output. So is it fine? So is the result fine? Are you able to understand this? How we did? Okay. At least somebody is there who's answering me. I mean, many of them are have understood. Okay, no problem. Now, I want to do one more thing. The same equation. I want x2 within parentheses, not whole square, not whole square. Let us make it a little complicated. x2 whole cube, x2 cube. Sorry, not whole cube. x2 cube minus x1 cube. Let us do that. How should we do it? x2 cube. So x sub of 2. Then cube means over here itself I will have super cube 3 and close super. Close this. So let us execute this part. You got it. X2 cube. Now can I have this part? I'm just remove. I'm having x cube then 2 as a subscript. This is just the opposite way of writing the tags. I'll just save this. I'll refresh it. So this becomes completely different. Look at it. It has become x cube, then 2 is displaying. So we don't know what this 2 is. Are you getting it? Now why I'm showing you this, because you'll get it back. Why I'm showing you this, because I'm trying to show you how placing tags at different positions will alter the presentation of the content. That is why I'm just trying to experiment and show you what happens when the tags change their position. How will the output be? So I've just got subscript. So it will be x2 then q, which is much better expression. In the same way, x1, let's say whole 4, not cube. Let's say x1 power 4. So where should I write it? After this 2? Should I write it after this 2? Anyone answer? Let us have this class interactive. It's much better. Should I write it after this 2? After super? No. You people are interested in your roll numbers and attendance. Before closing. Very well, very well, very well. So we have x, then subscript that this tag will make it as x1. Then we will have the superscript sup superscript, let's say 4, and then we will close the superscript tag. So let us save this and then execute it. So you can find that you have this kind of an equation. Though these equations doesn't make any sense, but why I'm showing you, I already told you that I want to demonstrate that we have tags, but we cannot use tags as and how we feel like. We have to use it in a proper way so that the content will be presented. Content can be presented to the user in a very formatted way. So these were the what do we call basic things in the content, basic tags in content. So before we end this content session, there is an important tag known as heading tags. But before moving to the heading tags, I want again one more thing in the equation itself. With the super and subscript, let us take the example. I'm just removing all this thing. Just let me save this part, and then there's nothing there. So I want an expression less than, let's say, 20, or not that way. I will have x less than y, and y greater than z. What will be the output? Will it be same, whatever is there? No. Very good. Let us execute this program. Once we execute it, let us run this program web browser. When we are running it, we have x less than y greater than z, but we are having the output as x and z. Y has disappeared. Why do you think y has disappeared? Very good. Somebody gave the answer that it is not considering x less than y. It is actually considering y as a tag because it is within opening and closing angle brackets. That is why y is being considered as a tag here. So, but y, there is no meaning for that y tag. So it's not giving us any error. It doesn't. HTML doesn't give us any error. But it's considered. So then how will we do it? So in such scenarios, we have something known as character entities. Character entities. Something known as character entities. I'm writing it here itself. So let me use BR tag, character entity. BR tag is not character entity. I'm just have written it just for, okay, let me remove it. Let's not have a confusion. So character entities means there may be certain situations where we have to use less than and greater than symbol, which also corresponds to opening and closing of the angle tags, which represents the tag itself. Opening and closing of angle brackets, which represent the tags. So instead of doing this, we use some special characters. We use some special characters through which this opening and closing of the angle brackets or less than or greater than symbol can be utilized. Actually, opening and closing of angle brackets is nothing but it is less than and greater than symbol itself. So we will use character entity known as and. Character entities always starts with and this symbol was this symbol was less than. So LT less than LT, and this symbol is greater than. So we will use and GT for greater than. So remember and LT and GT. These are the character entities. And always remember character entities will start with and. So when we execute this, you can find that we have a proper equation. So these are one of the what do you call things we need to keep keep note of. That is uh, how some characters will interfere with the HTML itself, and that is how we have to use character entities to handle those. Now, the other thing, the last part of our what do you call the tags for content, the category tags for content is header tags. Let me remove these things. Let me say, let me have this as the same thing. This is sample, let's say sample text. Let me say one. I'll have three more, five more lines here. Uh, let's say text 2, text 3, text 4, text 5, text 6. Now, header tags, which is also known as H tags, header tags, H tags, there are 6 header tags from H1, to H6 header tags. So first header tag is H1. H1 is the topmost header, and H6 is the lowest header. So this header is just like your in textbooks you might find the first chapter name will be very bold in a larger font size. Then let's say chapter 1 introduction. So you have one dot introduction, it will be very bold. Then within this chapter you will have 1.1 as some topic, 1.2 as some other topic. That may be considered as header 2. So it's in levels. Then one inside 1.1 topic, you might have something also as 1.1.1, 1.1.2. So this is just like how in textbooks we have content categorized in different levels. The same way here also the header tags, it works the same. So H1 is the header tag. And remember, header tags will also implicitly, like your horizontal rule, HR tag, which implicitly assigns the new line character. That is the text corresponding, following or corresponding text will be displayed on the new line. The same way, even header tags also will implicitly provide the new line character. So let us say H2 over here. And H2 closing tag. Let me save this and execute. We will look at the other parts later. So here I'm just trying to execute. So you can find that we have the first line text 1 as header. So it's the topmost header H1. Then this is the H2. The same way if we continue H3, H4, H5 until H6, you can find the difference there that what happened here. Okay. Let me just have all the 6 tags, 6 headers. So let us make this as H3. This is H4, H5, and H6. Even the corresponding the closing tags, we will make it as H3, H4, H5, and H6. Let us save this and execute. And you can find that these are the headers, or I mean the text displayed as headers, which is nothing but what do we call each H1 is the topmost header and H6 is the bottommost header. Now, can we use H7? I'll just last part I'll say H7. I mean I'll create another line, a new line itself for H7. And let me make this as not H7. Let us make it as H8. Let me make it as H8. Now let us look at what happens. Compile this. H8. See, H8, there is no H8 tag defined. So browser will not understand what H8 is. So it's nothing is defined. So it is displaying in the normal text, not as a header. So remember, if a tag is not defined, browser will not display you any error. It will not display any error. It will just display by default the text or whatever the content we have, by default it will display. So this is the header tags. Now within header tags we can have some text. For example, let me let me have some text because that gives us much better instead of typing. I can just copy and paste this. Okay, let me use this text. So after header, I can have a para tag and have the text here in para. Let me have some more text. Let me copy this. I mean, this doesn't make sense, but let me have this after para 2, copy it, and then copy this. So let me save this and let us execute. So this becomes the header 1 text for the content, and this is the content. What happened now? Just a minute. What happened to H2? H2 is supposed to be displayed. Why is this sample text displayed this way? Oh, let me just look at it. What happens? Okay, I have not. I forgot to close this para tag here. Are you getting it? This because since I forgot to close this closing tag is not proper way. So that is what is happening is this one. This is sample text, which is supposed to be S2, is not getting considered as 2. So let me close this. And that was the mistake I made. So once I save it, I'll refresh it. You can find that this is for H1. Then there is some text. Then this is for H2. We have some other text. This is the same way H3, H4, H5, and the different headers. So these were all the tags which we have seen today, which is part of tags for content. That is, we had seen the para tag. We had seen what do you call pre-formatted tag. We have seen bold tag. We have seen I tag, italics tag. We have seen the horizontal rule, as well as header tags we have seen. So these were the tags for content. Any questions so far? As well as character entities also we have seen. So any questions so far? Okay. Now, all these things which you heard today, you might be thinking that it is familiar, why we are learning again and again. So, I mean, it's part of the syllabus. So, we have to go through this. And I'm sure it will be a revision for you. I mean, you may have learned these things, but anyway, we have to let us go through these things once again. I mean, have this HTML part. Then the next thing we will have is we will move on to the what do we call image tags. So we had seen content. Now we will look at images, image tag. So let me just have some. Where are the images? What are? Let me just have this. Is this the image? A Coral Draw. No. No pictures. No picture. How do we have a picture? Okay, no problem. I'll have do something. I can't use camera because camera is already being used here. So let me go to the go to Google. Let me search some. Let us say I want some images. I want some images somewhere. Yeah. Okay, let me. I mean, because we are seeing some some of the images. So let I have to work with some of the images. So let me download some of the images here. Let me download this image itself. Save the image as. I'll just say it as one. JPEG is there. Okay, no problem. I'll just save another image. This one. Save the image. Let me have. Oh no, this is not the proper format. Let us have this image. Let me save this image. And still, let me save another image. Save the image as, let's say, 3. Okay, fine. Now let us come to the where okay, I think now we will look at the image tag, or we will look at how to use images within the text or the content. Here, what we will do is I'll just try to close this file, the index.html file. We had index.html file here. Now, remember one thing, when we want to use some images in the content in our web page, we need to have the image first. Obviously, that is not that's a logical uh, thing everybody knows. But we also need to know where that image is saved. We should at least have a physical path or a relative path, or we should have an absolute path or the relative path for the image. So what we will do is, for sake of simplicity, I'll create a folder. Let's say sample. In this sample folder, I will have my HTML file along with all the image files. So this sample folder will be having HTML file as well as some of the image files. Now I have named the image files as 1, 2, 3. Let me just change it as let's say img-1, img-2, and img. So you can have any name for the images, doesn't matter. For sake of simplicity, I'm just having img1, 2, and 3. Let me open this file in the notepad first. How do I open it? Oof. I've opened this notepad, as well as we will open this in Chrome web browser. Though any web browser you can open it. I'll just increase the font size. Hopefully this is visible to everyone. Okay, let's have one. And here, this is my HTML. Let me have this header as it is, some text content, then header to some text. Now what I will do is, before the text, after the header, before the text, that is at this place, this is sample text 1, between this line and lorem ipsum is simply dummy text. Between this, I want to have an image. So an image can be created in HTML using img tag. Okay, we are using img here, so I'll make it as image. IMAGE, let me say, image1. I don't want to have confusion between terms. That is why I'm changing this image 1, image 2, and image 3. Now I will use img as the tag. Now remember, this is very important. img tag also doesn't have its corresponding closing tag, like your dr tag and hr tag. So what I mean to say is, we cannot have something like this way, img. They will not have any corresponding closing tag. So first thing is, I'm going to use this to close this tag. So will be our image tag. And wherever we use this img tag, there the image will be displayed. For example, I'm using After this line header, I'm using I am image tag, that is img tag, and before the text. So it will get displayed over here in between these two. If I use this tag over here after this para tag before h3, the image will be displayed between this last line and the this is sample text 3 line. So wherever I'm going to use the img tag, there the image will be displayed. And I'm going to close this img tag with slash. The important thing here is till now, whatever tags we have used or we have heard about, whether it is pre tag, whether it is br tag, hr tag, or whether it is header tags, even whether it is body tag or whether it is head tag or closing any tag, title tag, HTML, even HTML tag, whatever tag we have used all these tags without any attributes. Every tag may or may not have attributes, but image tag is the tag which must have a mandatory attribute. Remember that image tag is the tag which has a mandatory attribute known as SRC. This is the attribute SRC. SRC stands for source. This is the attribute. SRC is the attribute which stands for source. And remember, we have not used some attribute body, comma, SRC. We have not used till now because there was no need for us. Though body tag also has attributes like background color, background image. H1 tag also has attributes. There was no need, so we have not used it. But image tag, you cannot use img tag or you cannot use image tag without the SRC attribute. And remember, attributes are key value pairs. That is, this is the attribute which has the key as SRC, that is the source, and value will be whatever we assign within double quotes. Whatever is assigned between double quotes will be the value. So this is actually what we mean. We mean here is that this is the value which is getting assigned to the source attribute. That is why we have key, and always key value pairs are key followed by the assignment operator, that is equal to sign, followed by the value, always. And image tag. For image tag, SRC is the mandatory attribute. Without this attribute, we cannot use image tag. So, what should be the attribute here? What should be the value of the SRC attribute over here? Is the name of the image file. Now, before we move further, let me just look at what is the extension. So I'll use CMD command prompt, and I'll go to that directory. That is desktop sample, whatever it is. I'll just type dir. You can find that the extension is image-1 extension is image-1 extension is JPG. Image-2 extension is also JPG. But image-3's extension is JPEG. JPEG. Always remember why I'm showing you this, because the file name to the source, whatever you provide, it also has to have the extension, and you should use the correct extension there. It can be BMP file also, it can be PNG file also, but please remember that we have to use the file name with the correct extension. Okay, so this is, just remember that. So that is why I've shown you this. That is, two files are JPEG. Two files are JPG. One file is JPEG. So let us come back. So let me display image-1.jpg file. I'll save this and let us execute. You can find that this image file has been displayed. And then we have the text over here. Are you getting it? This image file has been displayed. Now I will display one more image file just after this is sample text 2. Let me display, and then let me copy this itself. And over here, after this h2 tag, I'll display this file. And let us display jp3, sorry, image hyphen 3 dot. Let me use JPEG over here. Let us save this. I'll execute. You can find, sorry, what have I have used JPG. There is no file with extension JPG. Remember that. It is JPEG. Image hyphen 3 file name is image hyphen 3 dot JPEG. JPEG. So when there is no file, what happens is you will get this icon. So whenever there is no file displayed, you will get this. Now there is another attribute known as alt, ALT. It stands for alternate text. Let me say sunrise. ALT stands for alternate text. Let me save this and I'll just refresh it. So what happens is alternate text is getting displayed here. Where is it getting displayed? It is getting displayed at the place where the image cannot be displayed. Remember that. Alternate text is the attribute used, and the text will get displayed. Alternate text will get displayed when there is no image found. So since image hyphen 3.jpg is not found, that is why alternate text is getting displayed. Now suppose if I have the same alternate text in the first image, and let me save this and execute it, you will not find sunrise as the alternate text over here. You will not find it. Though you go to the end of this one, you will not find it. Why? Because image is there. So when image is there, alternate text will not get displayed. But when image is not there, then alternate text will get displayed. So that is what is happening in place of image 3. Now let me make it as JPEG. That is the correct file name with the extension. I'll save this and I'll execute. So can you find here? There's no alternate text getting displayed. Actual image gets displayed. So ALT attribute is used so that the alternate text is displayed when the image is not available. Now, nowadays, what is happening is this the Google is trying to use this attribute ALT, alternate text attribute, and trying to index the images in their search engines using the name or the text which is there in the ALT attribute. So how this is there? I mean, they're doing this for search engine optimization. So when we search images, Google may not. I mean, just by saying this image 3, I mean, saying this name, can you tell what is the what is this image about? We cannot say that. So just by looking at the file name of the image, we may not be able to say that what that image is about. So for search engines, what is happening is for indexing the images, search engines are trying to use the text which is provided in the attribute ALT, alternate text attribute, and then based on this, that text, they are trying to index the images. So if you don't write, nothing will happen. But this is how nowadays alternate text attribute is being used. Okay, let us come back to the image, this one. Now here you can observe that the first image is very big. The second image is, I mean, comparatively smaller in size than the first image. Now, how do we align them? What is happening here is when we have just used image with SRC, the image is getting displayed of its original size. So image 1 is much bigger than image 3. So it is getting displayed with its original size. And that sometimes what happens is, uh, we may not have uniformity in terms of uh, the text and the images there. So for that reason, image tag also has attributes as width as well as height. These two attributes can also be used for image tags, width and height. Now there are two things here, width and height. The values can be provided for this width and height in two ways. One is the pixels, the other one is in terms of percentage of the image width and image height. So for pixels, for example, I can provide pixels as 300 px, and let's say height, let us make it as, let's say height as, okay, 200 px pixels. Let me save this and I'll refresh. So the same image is now, remember that original image will remain of the same size, but the image which get displayed uh, using this tag, that image will be of 300 and 200 pixels. The same way we can also change the attribute for this image also. Let's make it at same, so that you can have images of uniform size throughout your web page. So this is one thing. This is one way. The other way is using the percentage. So let us we can also have percentage as, let's say, 50% of the width and let's say 40% of the height. So let me just save this and execute. So the entire, now you can see the what happens is the image will be now resized according to the percentage of the original size of the image. And always remember, whenever we are using width and height, it will not change the size of the original image. It will only display the image with those dimensions. So we can use width as well as height in terms of percentage as well as in terms of pixels. When we have pixels, that means we have absolute values there. But when we have width and height, I mean, every image might not have same or may not be of the same size. So using width and height in terms of percentage, then every image will, I mean, if you are reducing by certain percentage, every image will not reduce by equal size. So that is the difference, and we have the flexibility of using both, uh, what do we call, percentage as well as in terms of width. Oh. So this was about images. And images can be, I mean, at anywhere can be placed using the image tags. And now always remember that images has to have the source as the mandatory attribute. If you don't have source, nothing will get displayed. So this was, let me do this. So we have seen two types of tags, one for the tags for category and the other tags for images. And in the next class, we will look at tags for hyperlinks, tags for list, and there are other things also, tags for creating a web form. So I think we will conclude this class today now. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Any questions regarding this, the topics which we have covered today? If you people don't, so next class we will move on with the tags for hyperlinks and tags for list. So If you don't have any questions, then we will conclude this class today. I request everyone to just type in their roll numbers in the address bar. I mean, not address, sorry, in the chat window. If you have not already typed, please type it in the chat window, your roll numbers, if you have not already typed. And then hopefully by next week, I think next Monday we have a class. So by next Monday, I'll create a Google Classroom, and I will post this video also on the Google Classroom. I will add all these numbers. So what are there? I mean, this one, your roll numbers in the. I'll send you an invite for these roll numbers. And I'll also try to take the, I don't know whether that list has been prepared or not, finalized for the elective or not. Anyway, doesn't matter. Whatever roll numbers I have had for the last class, as well as for this class, I'll just add them in the Google and send you an invite. And this video recording also, I'll put it up on the in my classroom. So hopefully, next time we will use the Google Classroom to join the class. If it's not created by that time, then definitely I'll send you a link to join the class directly from Google Meet. Is that okay? Can we conclude today's class? Okay then. Thank you very much. You can. I'll stop sharing, and you can come out of the. 1 बजे तक रहती मैं क्लास. वो सब कुछ भी नहीं, क्लास ले रहा हूँ 1 बजे के बाद. मैडम को ठहरा बोला 1 बजे के बाद देखेंगे वो लोग. So let us conclude this class. You can log off from the meeting. Thank you very much.